I am in a happy mood. Happy mood.
This is Sizzle, powered by Fit to Be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End Broadcasting. DEEPEND, like a swimming pool, broadcasting. Here's your host of Sizzle, Karen Dougherty.
Woo. I love how you said Dougherty. That's new. Dougherty. Daughtry.
I try to switch it up every time a little bit.
I guess I did. I was just going to say, am I crazy or do you switch it up on me?
Well, you're crazy enough to where I'm not sure which one it actually is because it changes.
And it's kind of cool. Each time I like it. I like the sound of it. Like he'll go Dougherty, Dougherty. Dougherty I'm really fond of because that's when I was little. That's original. That's OG. The OG Dougherty.
I feel like I'm announcing you coming down the aisle for a wrestling match.
Oh, that would be cool. I don't know about a wrestling.
Did you ever go to the wrestling matches back in the day when you were younger?
Like the ones like Hulk Hogan and stuff like that? No, I never. I would love to go. I don't know them now. It's funny because I can't say I knew girls that were actually doing it because I lived in Minnesota, so a lot of those
that's kind of a wrestling hotbed.
Yeah,
professional wrestling,
the cool kind. Yeah, professional, and I love it. I think it's cool as heck. I've even followed those girls, the twins, on the entertainment channel. You know, kind of like a reality show, and they would go backstage with those pretty brunettes. God, I can't think of their names. I don't think they're wrestling anymore, but it wasn't that long ago.
When I was in junior high school, my dad would take me Friday nights to the Norfolk Scope to watch the NWA.
That is so cool. So that means your dad was into it too.
I think he thought it was funny. He met Ric Flair in the.
Ric Flair was a bad I have so many guy friends who love that guy.
My sisters would see them out partying and stuff like that because they were in the drinking age, so they see them at the bars.
I know how important he is because it seems like guys I would date would be like Ric Flair. They loved him.
Right.
Hulk Hogan.
So, well, they come party with the locals around here afterwards. But inside the Norfolk airport, my dad went up to him and said, "What's up, nature boy?" And he goes, "What's up, my man?" And he shook my dad's hand. So my dad really liked that.
Yeah, I used to like Rowdy. Remember
you didn't? Yeah,
he was with the Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan passing away. That was just fairly recent, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And that was that tugged at me, because so many of my friends, I necessarily wasn't into it, but I mean, I had some pretty enthusiastic friends about it, and it was cool. I used to go to this gym down in Plymouth, Minnesota. And so it was called The Gym. And it was right outside the city of Minneapolis, about 10 miles in a city called Plymouth. And that's where a lot of them would go. And I stumbled upon it because I was working at a bar down the street, waitressing at night, and it was close to work. I could work out, shower, go to work, Yep. And so it was so cool because I'd see these huge guys. And it turned out to be just a hub of all those guys. But I never got to know any of them, or I wasn't always in there when they were. And I was shy back then. I would have been staring from behind the.
So when you were bartending, what was your clientele coming into the bar for the most part?
Oh, for that particular bar by the gym, that was young because I was really young. I was probably about 24.
So the 20-year-old kids wanted to go out and
some 30-year-olds too. The dating, the scene. It was a club. It was like dancing. Woo! It was fun. I did fun. I'm all about fun. So if I got to work, I'm gonna make it fun. My dad told me when I was a kid, he was like, "You're gonna have to do that 8 to 12 hours a day. So make sure your job is something that you like." And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So I grew up, I always did stuff I liked. I went into architecture. So I got to be in engineering and architecture as a draft after.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, through my 20s, but it wasn't fun. It was so boring. I got into I worked for structural engineers as their drafter, and it was tall buildings and it was boring. And I was like, oh my God. I pictured, I wanted to be the architect of houses and stuff, but whatever. I quit when I was 30 and started doing fitness full time. And I got sober too. And so I started working in a bar.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense, right? But I would explain to people I was lucky because I could go around alcohol and not be tempted because I was just so happy I kicked its ass. I was like, and I could still have fun and be in the bars, but I would be making money. It made a lot more sense. So that's my little gig. But I guess this could tie into that, what we're going to talk about tonight or today. I love it. We're live too. That's right.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, cool. I've been kind of excited for this podcast, but I think I say that every week because I really am. I dig doing this. I'm trying to get my purse out of the way so people on YouTube can't see it, and I think I'll just give up. Okay. We are talking about saunas, heat. That's the kind of the new trend.
Right.
These, cold plunge was
Wait,
going
from
on.
cold plunge to get as hot as you can,
Right.
and to some people doing them back to back, which I'm confused a little bit on some of that. Myself,
I'm not into it at all. I can't do a cold plunge. I mean, I'll do it if I have to, like life or death, obviously, or
right.
I would even maybe do it for a substantial amount of money, but because I know it's really good for you. I do know that. I know it would have to be for inflammation and all that. And we're going to get into detail. Oh, I don't know that I did. Oh, yeah, I did. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't really go into the cold plunge because I wanted to go the heat direction because I didn't know that I was going to end up talking about this. But I was in Colorado last week, Colorado Springs, Denver area, and a town called Bailey. And which I don't know where I was. I can't even say it, but it was beautiful, as you can well imagine. And so I got to experience a Native American sweat lodge. And I've experienced them before because when I lived in Minnesota, I studied a Native American culture for a couple years. I was really interested because there's a ton of history out there because of Wounded Knee and all that stuff happening in South Dakota. And being from the East Coast, I didn't know any of it. And if they taught it in school, which I'm sure they did, but I didn't remember it.
Oh, it looks very pretty from the pictures I see.
Yeah, like I wanted to show you. I wanted to give you pics. I wish I was more organized, but like I said, I wasn't sure I was going to talk about this, but I decided, yeah, I really wanted to. And I wanted to with you too, especially because we were playing around and talking about aliens and all that kind of stuff in the past podcast. And when I was in Garden of the Gods, Steve, I even sent you pictures, that, because I could not be out there and not think of you because it was fun.
Oh yeah, that's a hotbed out there. I could tell that.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
With the aliens, the people that are interested in that sort of thing. Bigfoot too. Bigfoot. And I think that's cool.
I can see him totally living from the pictures I'm looking at, which are very cool. I mean, just picture your countryside in the mountains of Colorado with little streams and cool bridges and a small town.
I'd go there if I was Bigfoot.
And vistas every which way you look, kind of dealio.
It's really amazing territory.
Yeah.
But
so Bailey it looks like
Bailey
it is about if you take a good hour drive southwest out of Denver.
Yeah.
You'll run
it is.
Right.
And it exactly that. It was about 2 hours from where we were. And I don't know if I could have done it myself because, well, let me go back a little bit. Back in Minnesota, I had some really cool experiences, and I was really interested in the Native American culture, and I knew because of my territory where I lived, I could get a lot of it, some real stuff too, actually talk to natives. And I was talking to a guy at the University of Wisconsin. They have a special department there, and he was like, "Oh, you got to hook up with this guy, Wesley Black Elk. Super cool person, super cool dude, and he'll be able to teach you a lot." And I was having some problems with drug addiction too, may I add. And I was sober, but I was really having a hard time, like I really wanted to use again. I was about 30. I'm trying to think how old I was, probably about 32, successful, doing really well in life. But some of that stuff is really, addiction is a tricky thing. You can be doing good. It can sneak up anytime. But anyway, I really respect the Native American culture for so many reasons and levels because of who they are, and their spirituality is amazing and super faithful and cool, and I'm so interested in anything like that. And they're just who they are as a culture, craftsmanship, work ethic, people, they're just amazing. But anyway, so I call this guy Wesley on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, I have sweat lodges out here at my house. You should come." Super friendly human, just super freaking cool. And because I was a little shy, but and what I want to talk about is serious stuff. He's like, "What, how are you?" I talked about some of my personal stuff, and it really helped me. And it was simple help, it was like, don't let something outside of you control you, and it's simple as that. And I don't want this podcast to be about that or me, but I'm sure you can understand. And it helped me really well. Like, it sounds really simple, but we did sweat. He would have people come over and we'd do sweat lodges, and they'd be in, like, I want to say teepees, but they're not, they're not triangle, they're rounded. It's more like a dome, super well built, and it's amazing. Everything is amazing. And I sound so corny, I realize. But I mean,
no, I get it. You got your little.
I just have a lot of respect for that culture. So this is back in my 30s. Mm-hmm. And then, I get to go to 2 sweat lodges. I end up staying sober and doing good, and, beating that urge because I had gotten sober from alcohol and drugs like 2 years prior. So wanting to use was uncomfortable. And they really helped me conquer that more than going to meetings or stuff like that. Not saying that meetings don't work. So obviously you see how they warm my, that culture warms my heart, and Wesley does too, as a human being. So anyway, time goes on. I got to go to another sweat lodge, and time keeps going on, and I end up moving to Virginia, so Facebook is out though. So I get to stay in contact, through Facebook. Thank God, right? What a great platform we have with social media in so many positive ways. You hear negative things about it. But anyway, I go out to, Wesley had moved from Minnesota and gone to Colorado, and I'm in Colorado, and I'm like, man, I should text him and or reach out to him through Facebook. And so I did. And sure enough, there's a sweat lodge this Saturday, why don't you come? And I was like, man, yeah, my friends were, I was staying with a very, very good, dear friend of mine and her husband. And I thought, what a cool, maybe they would be into it. They were really into it. And it's such an honor, it's such an honor. I haven't looked at my paper once, I feel. But he's so open to everybody. So I don't need to feel special or anything, because he would do that to you, anyone that expresses any sort of interest. Because obviously the Native American culture needs to be passed down and talked through. And, it's not always in the history books. At least at my school, it wasn't. No offense to school, but they practice. And the reason why I thought how cool I can tie this in to everybody's doing a sauna. You know, everybody's got saunas in their gyms now. They've got places where you can go buy, like you walk into the Rooted Hook local here in town. I hope I'm saying the right word. I'd like to do a shout out for them, but you can buy time in a sauna. Literally, Sundays has saunas in them. Do you like saunas, Steve?
You know, so I've been into the sauna one time, and I thought I was going to throw up. To be honest,
one time isn't going to give you. Yeah. Like
I
I'm
thought
not
you
real.
know what? I thought they smelled weird too. I thought it smelled really weird.
They have
kinda,
cedar.
and it kind of freaks me out.
I'm not a big sauna girl either. So, nor a cold plunge. I'm not a cold plunge girl either. But anyway, me and my ADD, I'm like over here, over here. But anyway, I it's all the rage. In fact, I did a post on Instagram not that long ago because I was in a sauna, and I don't really go into them, but I know they're very, very popular. So being in the health and wellness industry, I got to do stuff. I have to try stuff. Because of client asks, I want to be able to tell them. But anyway, the reason why the natives, and it's been going on for years and years, since the beginning of time, I'm going to say. So sweat lodges are sacred spaces used for cleansing the body, mind, and spirit. So that's the original plan. And if you read a magazine, like a glamour magazine right now, they're going to say the same thing because it's used for purification, toxins, getting the toxins out of the body, connection to ancestors and the creator. So kind of like church, the ceremony honors the 4 directions, the elements, and ancestral wisdom. And it's done in their language. So did I get to hear every word? No, but the directions we all know: north, south, east, west. And being grateful and praying is always probably something good, or sitting and meditating, healing and renewal. Participants often seek emotional, physical, or spiritual healing through the intense heat and prayerful environment. Oh, I wish I would have looked up how hot it gets. It's really cool. They heat up rocks, just like you'll see in the new things, and put water on it. But it's so amazing. Sing songs, community, and storytelling. The lodge fosters deep connection, shared intention, and oral tradition. So what's so cool about it is that it is like your experience. Remember when Emily was on and she talked about how trauma bonding, she used that term. I think whenever you go something hard with somebody, there is a sort of bonding that happens, don't you? Don't you think that's why sports teams become so close? Or, it's like a bonding. And anytime it's like a hard experience, because even though a game of football is fun, it's still hard. And even though a sweat lodge, you're seeking something positive, it's still really hard. Like, oh my God, it gets hot. I wonder if it's hot. I mean, it's definitely hotter than a sauna. So it's tough, but you get breaks, and it's so worth it to me. That was my 3rd sweat lodge, the one that I just did in Denver. So the first one I did, I was just like, wow. Anyway, my friend went in with me, and I was there because she has had a second knee replacement. And sitting in the sweat lodge, you sit on the ground. She was really nervous about that, being able to, and they tend to be about 2 hours long. So, but her knees did not hurt.
Wow. Yeah. Nice.
Now, we were uncomfortable in the sweat lodge, but it wasn't because of a knee injury. Like, I'm not injured at all. It was hard on my back, like you had to, like, I would remember my fundamentals, like by squeezing my butt and pulling my abs in, because sitting on the ground that long is hard at 59, period. It doesn't matter who you are. and you can lay down. Often there's room in them to lay down. And we could. I didn't, but anyway, super cool. Just it's so worth it to me because I always feel like if I'm around other cultures that aren't mine and I feel so honored, like I got like a free pass, or it's just I'm so honored because I love shared experiences. I like people, but when different cultures show you what their traditions are, oh man, I always just so I dig it. I felt so good later. Now that night I got dehydrated. You have to drink a lot of water. And I got dehydrated, and the altitude on top of it, and me not being from there. Woo. I want to share this too. There was a wolf sanctuary right nearby.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it was like 12 wolves, these massive regal.
Could you hear them howling at night and stuff like
No,
that?
no, we were only there
Oh.
I was only there for the lodge. So I only that's where they were. They were at this gentleman's house. And it was just cool, like such a cool experience. And my girlfriend really did well with her knees and really enjoyed it. She's yeah, like spirituality and all that kind of stuff. She's a science girl. That's like not and I'm the spirituality girl. Let's put it that way. Like I love all that. I've been open to that kind of stuff. Like I went and saw the Dalai Lama at the U of M. Like I'm into anything. Doesn't matter who you are. Like just that kind of stuff. And she's more into science stuff. So it was kind of like I got to show her something, and she was like, "This is super cool." So my buddy Wesley is just so nice and so inviting that. I mean, I'm sure, like, put it this way, like I was at his sweat lodge when I was 32 and I'm 59. And I knew I could just like pop up in Denver and be like, "Hey, what's up? I'm here." I haven't talked to him in a year or two. Like I have kept in touch through Facebook, but that's it. So it was really cool to see him and feel it's like time stops when you're in realms like that. Like realms is kind of a weird word, but spiritual.
No. I get you're a spiritual plane.
Yeah, spiritual plane, like for sure, man. And then you're looking at these wolves, these beautiful creatures, and you just feel like magic.
Yeah, you just and I mean you don't have that kind of thing around here, So
No, and
obviously that's kind of and let's be honest, you go on vacation to go have kind of random cool experiences like that anyway.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was joking because I've been in 2 sweat lodges prior, and the second one that I was in, I didn't make it through. I had to bail. Oh, it was cool though because I still remember it. And it's the kind of experience you don't forget either. Like I was dehydrated for sure that time, and I made it through this one because I wasn't dehydrated during it, but I did end up kind of getting there later that evening by not, I drank a diet soda at dinner. Like what an idiot. Like who does that when you come out of a sweat lodge? Like get a glass of water, Dougherty, doy. But yeah, so I kind of got punished a little bit later, but I will say that the next day, I felt so good once I got all the water back in me and replenished. Oh, I know. I kind of gapped out there. I was talking about how I didn't make it. Like I started seeing flashes in that second lodge, and I was like, "Oh, I'm having a vision."
No, that's what they're trying to do to you.
Amazing.
Yes.
And
you're tapped into an ulterior.
It was just. I don't know. I just feel so honored when I get to do stuff like that.
But it felt welcoming and
oh God,
nothing malicious and all that.
Never.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like with our culture's way more.
That's the frequency that the extraterrestrials want us to operate at, to be honest. Like that.
They want to what? They want to stop?
No. So the extraterrestrials who have genetically DNA'd this planet,
Yeah.
their hopes for us is that we are a peaceful race of very caring, very likable.
Yep.
You can't really describe like the feeling. It's more like an aura, but that's the way that we should be acting compared to the craziness that we actually do.
Well, I'm going to be,
and you're
they're
kind
going to
of,
like
you're kind of talking about it right now. But it's interesting you talk about that in
and they'll
the
like
form
the
of
natives.
your Native American sauna, because there was so much interaction amongst them with the elders, and the traditions were passed down through the Native American tribes.
I know, and that's really the only way.
It's kind of lost through other cultures, like the Europeans and stuff, because they did so much individual travel. It's like we're not in clans, right? We just kind of, our ancestors just kind of moved here on their own. And while the Native Americans, they've been kind of doing this thing forever.
I know, and it's so cool. I guess the word that I want to call it is mentorship. And I don't know, like I would hate if I ever said anything that was insulting, because you get nervous nowadays. Like I would never want to offend, because I have so much faith in their culture. Like I like their mentoring. I like to speak with them about real subjects, because I think they're good counselors, should I say, mentors. Like their culture has learned different things than ours, and I really respect their thoughts and everything about them. In fact, I was like, I can't wait I have to send Wesley a thank you, a thank you for allowing me or inviting me, and then being so kind to my friends. But that's what I mean. Like that culture is very, 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 very kind and sharing. And just like any other culture, like I feels kind of silly talking like, oh, everybody's so nice. They're just like anybody else, some are nice, some aren't, I'm sure,
Right.
like I sound like a Karen. I always joke. I'm like, wait, I just say things wrong. I'm a Karen, but I'm not, but I would never want to offend ever. Rite of passage for some tribes, sweat lodge ceremonies mark transitions or prepare individuals for vision quests or other sacred rites. Yeah. So you said that's what you kind of want to do, is meditate into a vision. Well, it's just a very, very cool experience. And for my friend to have such interest in it enough that she's considering going again, bringing her sister because they're so kind, that I think is how you build like learning the culture, because like I tried to look up some of the songs, and it's suggested that you learn from an actual individual. I thought that was cool. Like it is really a passed down, what do I want to call, belief system. So anyway, but let's get into the times of here and now. So again, thank God I got to have that beautiful experience. And that's what made me think like, well, wait a minute, I could actually share that I had that experience, because saunas are all trendy in the fitness business. And it sounds like it's a good trend, because I will tell you the next day or two, or even now today, like it's Wednesday, I traveled. I didn't get home till 1:30 in the morning on Monday night, but I've had a good week. I've been working really hard to make up for missing a day of work, and I feel really good in that sweat lodge. I was coming down with a cold when I went in. I came out, it was gone. I just whatever germ I had was like, later, see you later. My skin. My skin was like glorious. I was like, oh man, I know why girls are hooked on this.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends has one in their house, just built one. And then my magazine, I always buy myself a magazine when I fly, and a beauty magazine, fitness. I got a fitness one, Woman's Health. And in there is talking about saunas. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is the thing. And I get it. The way that my skin looked, other than all the spiritual, really, really cool stuff that happens in there, my skin was glorious. And it says, and I'll get to my notes finally because that was all just me. Saunas, I wanted to know the origin of sauna and cold plunge traditions. So I was curious. I was like, let's do the cold plunge real quick. Because didn't it seem like cold plunge was real popular 2 years ago, a
Yep.
year ago? And then now it's the heat. So it makes sense. I always thought you did the sauna first and then went in the cold plunge, not cold plunge and then sauna. But maybe the way the trend went, I'm wrong. Not sure. But
I've always thought that heat was always better to heal my injuries. And I get it. They say ice than heat, like right off the bat. But and unless I put like, if you overheat or whatever, that seems to really heal you faster if you're able to do so. I've noticed.
you know why I think? Because it's comfortable. And I
Mhm.
think when you're healing, you should be made comfortable. I think your body should have all its energy working to heal that issue, whatever you're dealing with. So I agree, a heat, but and you were in athletics, ice, ice, ice. And I was always like, ugh, whatever. Pardon me. Let me get away from the mic. I hate ice. I don't like being cold. So cold showers are really good for us. And I believe the inflammation thing for sure. But if I'm not comfortable doing something, I feel like my body's releasing cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And that's my scientific theory for not doing stuff that I hate. And that would be jumping in ice. But why do we do the cold plunge? I'm sorry. This is interesting. Saunas originated in Finland over 2,000 years ago, used for hygiene, childbirth, spiritual rituals. We all know longer than 2,000 years, the natives and other people have been doing it. So it's kind of funny. But I think as we think of it now, the word sauna is Finnish and means bath or earth pit. Cold plunges practiced in ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome. Cold water immersion was used for skin conditions. That's interesting and makes sense. Stamina makes sense. And post battle recovery. That is interesting. Post battle recovery, I would think would be like injuries, like,
Sounds like after a rugby game.
I was just going to say battle on the team, now it would be considered athletics. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Nordic contrast therapy. So let's see what that is. Duh. Alternating hot sauna and icy plunge is a long-standing tradition to boost circulation, immunity, and mental clarity. So alternating. It doesn't say what is supposed to be first or what is supposed to be second. So I don't think it matters. I think it's whoever, whatever your choice is. But why these practices are trending now? I wanted to know why. Like, the certain cultures have been doing it forever and ever. Why is all of a sudden it on the horizon, or not on the horizon? I didn't mean to say that. It's present. It's here. Well, the reason why it's biohacking and recovery culture. So, whatever that means, why these practices are trending now, biohacking and recovery culture. Athletes and wellness seekers use heat and cold to reduce inflammation. I knew that. Speed recovery and improve sleep. Wow. Okay. That's something I'm really interested in. I'm not the best sleeper lately, but mental health benefits. Exposure to extremes can release endorphins, reduce anxiety, and build resilience. Yeah. I think a good workout can too. Return to ritual. In a fast paced world, people crave grounding, ancestral practices that reconnect them to nature and self. I dig that. I believe that. I think that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to say that sometimes the beginning is good. Sometimes we have all the tools and we try and complicate stuff the smarter we get. Like now, like exercise when it first came out. Who is the grandfather? God, I can't believe I can't think of his name.
Who's the Godfather?
Jack LaLanne.
Oh.
Godfather, the grandfather, whoever of exercise was Jack LaLanne, and his exercises that he did on his show. I still get little. I'll probably watch one today because we talked about it. Still the same ones. Haven't changed a bit. A push up is a push up, whether it's at the wall or on the ground. Do you know what I mean? A leg lift, a lateral leg lift is a lateral leg lift. I did them this morning. So sometimes the beginnings, it's kind of cool that we explore, and otherwise, some people would get bored with fitness, and me perhaps being one of them. But sometimes the original is really good and really. So that's why I like going back to the old school. I like older architecture too. I think things were built better. But that's a whole different podcast, and that's for other reasons, maybe everybody does too, but we have economy. Sorry, I'm getting nerdy and boring. Mental health benefits, exposure to, we already did that. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking return to ritual is probably why I like it. In a fast-paced world, people crave grounding ancestral practices that reconnect them to nature and self. For sure. I'm dig that stuff. Okay. Moving on. Social media visibility. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok have amplified these practices, making them aspirational and accessible. Guess that's true. And I shouldn't be making fun, because let's face it, social media is a great place to really talk fitness. It's all over it. Red light therapy. Have you heard of that, Steve?
Yes.
I do it. I do it on my face. I go once a week. And I don't really know why I do it. Can you believe that? I just know that it's very, very good. And so I got to really look it up. And I've looked it up before. I don't want to sound so ignorant that I'm just like, okay, I'll do whatever you say. I've used it at the dermatologist when I was young because I had like cystic acne.
Right.
And then now that I'm grown, I use it more for, fine lines, pores. I have large pores and I think it helps. But red light therapy is this RLT. You'll hear that. Non-invasive light treatment uses low wavelength red or near infrared light to stimulate cellular energy, ATP, and promote healing.
I feel like my nose needs this.
Well, your nose, your knee, because you can use red light therapy. It doesn't have to be on your face.
Interesting.
So a girlfriend of mine has a knee issue, and she was with me, and the girl's like, "Hey, do you want to use it on your knee?" And she was like, "God, I never thought of that." So yes, obviously it's for healing everything, but I go once a week for my face because I want you look young and beautiful. No, what happened is it's a healer. So I'm in the sun a lot here. So yes, the elements, you do want to use it for that. Whether you're a guy, girl, it's not really just beauty. It's just the fact that we live in Virginia Beach. We've got a lot of sun. Reduces inflammation and joint pain. Improves skin tone, reduces wrinkles, and speeds wound healing. So my son, for his ankles, I thought, wow, that would have been cool to have one of those lights. But they're expensive. I wonder. Because the one on my face is like this big. It's just a square. but it moves. I'd love to have one of them for Ian's ankle. I'm gonna look. Bet you they're like $1 million. May support muscle recovery and mood regulation. Huh. I think that's interesting. I never knew that. And where it came from. Ancient roots in sunlight healing, Egyptian, Greek, and Roman traditions. Okay, that's cool because here going back to the beginning, that would be sun. Modern RLT was pioneered by NASA in the 1990s to help astronauts heal wounds in space. That's cool. I trust anything an astronaut does. They always seem so smart. Or the people that work for them are the people that work at NASA. Okay, let's see what I got here. I do have some extra notes because I was so mad. I had the best notes ever. And then I X'd them out by mistake. Okay, so oh God, I can't believe I'm going silent. I'm sorry, podcast people.
All right, I'm sorry too. I'm kind of playing around over here a little bit.
I figured you were playing with Colorado Sweat Lodge. I know. Well, I know that's kind of cool. I know that's what you do over there.
I'm actually generating AI photos. How about that?
Cool. That's awesome. Share the origins of Nordic sauna and cold plunge traditions. Introduce red light therapy and its NASA-backed science. So we did. We talked about that, but that's all I know. I wish I would have dug deeper into how NASA found that out. But I'm just really going over my notes, and I do want to make sure that. Yeah, I got everything covered. I just wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything out because I did think of you, Steve, a lot when I was out in Colorado because of like that one spot, Garden of the Gods. It would have like
So what did they give you a history behind that place at all?
no. But look
Yeah,
it up.
that's the questions you got to ask when you're doing that kind of thing.
Like well, I didn't have a guide.
So who named it the Gardens of the Gods?
Okay, yeah. Let's look before I go, because I'm done with stuff. But that's why I thought of you. Like, you can't help but to think of your friends that are into getting off the grid.
Right.
When you're in places like that, I have friends that like to be off the grid. I love people like that too, because I cannot live off the grid. I'm just such a coddled little wussy, but I respect people that can. I think that's so cool. So whenever you're out in Colorado or places that are unique and spiritual like that, I think of my friends that are into getting out of the grid, getting out of the world, my friends that are into UFOs and paranormal, and also any kind of spirituality, which would be me. So I just like how we're all into different stuff, and certain locales will spur up those thoughts and have you thinking about, I wonder what my buddy would say. Like, that's what I was thinking of you. Like, but why do they call it the Garden of the Gods? Did you look it up?
Let's see.
You're good at that. I'll do it real quick too.
And it's in Colorado, right?
Yeah, Garden of the Gods. Colorado Springs. But there's just so many places around there because everything's natural, like there's a park after park after park. So I didn't add in the origin or why it was named that. I wish I would have done that.
Oh yeah, so this has all the rock formations and stuff too.
Yeah, so all those rock formations made me think of you because we were talking about aliens and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's a hot spot for that. I definitely know it's a hot spot for Bigfoot.
Prehistoric people visited as soon as 1330 BC. Interesting. And then let's see.
Wow. I know that stuff.
Mainly
so
Native
cool
American. Yeah, so many tribes reported connections to the gods there. Interesting.
Oh, so different tribes.
So The ancient thing is this, because you have all kinds of ancient religious text, and even from the Native Americans,
Yeah.
through their petroglyphs or whatever, talking about the quote unquote gods. So when you read into it, and like, these are in like ancient Hindu writings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different god, but it begs the question, who were all these different gods? And more often than not, the description in those texts are extraterrestrials.
You wonder. Well, okay, here's what I heard while I was in Colorado for Bigfoot. Sorry to get off the extraterrestrials, but some people think Bigfoot is.
Yes, of course.
They think he is one. And they think that the reason why he can't be seen is because there's portals. And what happens is he comes out, it sounds so corny, but I mean, why wouldn't there be portals? That could very well be. Oh shoot, my timer's going off. That could very well be. And so he, he's an extraterrestrial. He's not even from here. He just comes here for whatever reason it may be, and then plans his trip, travels, and then goes out another portal, which is why we don't see him or have any remains. Like, did he die here? If he did, maybe another one from the portal went and got him. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's all different. I mean, who knows?
Well, you never found the body for one, so how can it be in existence where if something's died and it's been around, wouldn't you at least find a body at some point?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I've never heard anyone
haven't
even ask that question, much less be able to answer it. So that leads me to believe that yes, they are jumping from dimension to dimension, and people do have the video evidence, basically, of it's there for 1 second and then gone the next, basically.
Well, here's what I've learned through life. And like I said, my hobby is spirituality, everybody's. And I want a hobby. Ugh, that makes it sound so cheap, but it's not. It's not. I'm interested. I'm nosy. I am whatever you want to call it, curious. I just love hearing everybody's theory, and I find how many things are similar. But in my life, I've learned that, people are always thinking heaven, hell.
And all the different books and readings, it's amazing the similarities that actually do take place.
I know. That's what I like. That's why I like to go back to old theory, because, a lot of times we just confuse things in life, even in our day. You know what I mean? And I think with maturity, you start to learn to balance out more. But anyway, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. Darn it. I spaced off. Sorry. I hate that one. And we're live too, so we can't even edit it out. So, but because I know that does happen, but that happens more than I like to admit. But we're talking about a subject that I'm so excited about. So that's why my thoughts are just going too fast, and I lost that. And as soon as we go offline, it'll come back, maybe. But sometimes it doesn't really come back. Well, we were talking. Oh, I know what it is. That everybody always thinks of heaven and hell, right? Not everybody, but that I've learned through the years that it's not necessarily like that. It's sideways, it's realms. So when somebody like talks about like, oh my gosh, well, I believe that there's a Bigfoot, and I'm not going to tell them that there's not. Because I can't. Nobody's ever proved to me that there wasn't, and nobody proved to me yet that there was. There's definitely a possibility. And then when you start talking about realms, and then the guy that studies Bigfoot says that they're going into different portholes or portals, portals. I think of realms, where someone else has taught me that, and I'm like, This is all connecting. So there's possibility for anything. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, it's silly to think anything different. It would be so silly. But I mean, I'm sure there's people that don't agree with me already. Because I mean, I just can't imagine not believing in possibility. That would be a depressing life. Very. But with that, that's why I wanted to kind of save some time. I got through all the facts and all that and just talk a little bit with that because I thought about you when I was in Colorado. There's so much beauty, obviously, and anybody wouldn't be interested in that place. But because some of the conversations I was lucking out to have with various different people, and then that sweat lodge and the wolves, and God, isn't nature beautiful, right? It's I couldn't help but think of you once in a while because I was like, I bet he would dig this stuff too, because there's just so much possibility. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. But with that, I'm finished with my little all my little notes and sheets. Is there anything you want to add in, Steve?
I mean, that's it. I mean, we're full on our programming with What the Puck is going on every Tuesday night and
Oh, yeah.
6 p.m. Eastern. And then that's been good. And then our football show has been fun. And then that's every Sunday at 7 a.m. Eastern, the round robin. And then I've been working over here on some production of Inquisition Unknown ? Which is going to answer many of your alien questions.
Oh,
Sizzle.
really?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
Yep. Season 2. We have season 1 back on our YouTube channel. Check it out if you like.
I really will. I feel kind of stupid. Sometimes things are right under your nose, right?
Right. All right, Sizzle, good job.
Thanks. You too. I appreciate you.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye. What a lady, what a night. I got to sing with a microphone. I don't ever get to do that. What a night. Now I'm shy. Maybe I would like karaoke. I don't know. I've never done it. Well, that's cool. We're live. You don't have to do anything now. Well, you have to. There's no such thing of not doing anything. I didn't mean to say that. I did not mean to say that. But I wonder if you want to do that. Well, I guess when we have guests, we'll have to let them pick. Would you want to do this time?
Oh, I mean, really, it's just up to you.
Is it? Like, no, it's up to you. But is your schedule freer now? Because